why in the world then do we have metrics?
Hmm.
Like, I don't get their purpose. Like, I feel like if a team has metrics, they're measuring, they're trying to make up for something, right? They're trying to compensate for a lack of something,
A
whatever
lack
that
of
something is.
understanding of what their teams actually do day to day to produce a product.
Right.
And so the upper management has, there's a gap of knowledge there. If you're an executive, you should know your numbers. It's something that I argue with my my team all the time. That a leader should know the numbers of the health of their organization, whether it be software metrics or financial numbers and things like that. Um, and so the higher up you are on the food chain, the less you understand what's happening down at the bottom. And metrics is a flawed way of trying to inform that. And some
And
metrics are better than others. Yeah.
it just creates this arbitrary world, a superficial world,
Hmm.
because everybody is trying their best to look the best.
Yes.
Nobody's going to report that they made a catastrophic failure mistake.
No, no, that's
And so then, like, I just feel like metrics just defeat the purpose, which is kind of why I like the DORA metrics, because out of all the metrics out there, like, I feel like the DORA metrics are probably the most, I don't want to say pure,
yeah.
but they're effective metrics to help you actually understand, is my team actually moving the needle in some direction
Mhm.
without making it super subjective.
Yeah. Well, so part of that is because the 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 no blame culture is kind of built into the DORA metrics. Maybe not directly, but definitely indirectly. So none of those metrics, unless they're misused, are putting the blame on any one individual or team.
Individual.
They may say, okay, because the mean time to repair is longer than the industry average, that's an area we need to look at. But it's not necessarily saying that so and so picked poor quality materials, or a bad end system to put our application on. It's just saying that this is longer than industry standards, and we should look at what we need to do here. Um, it's not looking at individuals' lines of code, and Alex contributed 10K, but Sean only contributed 2K this particular time period, and because none of that stuff makes any sense whatsoever. So DORA is not looking at those type of metrics, but those are often type of metrics I see a lot. In fact, some of the reports directly from your favorite tool, Jira, um, allows you to drill down on a per user and how many, work items they completed in a particular time span, or if you're using sprints or something, in a given sprint, who did the most tasks and completed the most story points, if you're using story points and things like that. Those
Right.
are bad metrics. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, they're so subjective, right? They're not only they're subjective, but then they become superficial. I worked on a team where you bid the contracts on story points as well.
Mhm.
And so you threw a number out there like 5,000 story points. Well, the moment you did that, and the moment you were awarded a 5,000 story point contract, then it didn't matter what the work was, because the project at the end of the day had to conform to
To
5,000
5,000
points.
points. Yeah. Yeah.
Because if
So
it didn't, then you
at the,
didn't.
at the beginning of the project, they're very stingy with story points, and like, okay, I'm only going to give you one for that, even though I knew it took you five. But then towards the end of the project, they're either super stingy with the points, or they're like just throwing the points out left and right. Why don't you take 100 for that that task, because we need to burn the
Take an
story.
extra 100 just for fun.
Yeah, yeah. This other hundred's on me.
But
Yeah.
these line, I mean, these you as a company, if you're rolling out metrics, one I would recommend take a look at the DORA ones, because again, out of all the metrics I've seen, they're not that bad. But you want to be careful to not have vanity metrics either, right? Because things like lines of the SLOC, right? Lines of code written, the number of commits, the number of story points you completed. those can be gained so
Yes.
much that it becomes irrelevant. It's an irrelevant number. As an individual contributor, my numbers are going to align.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As soon as I see a system with metrics, I want to start gaining the metrics. I want to start exploiting them and taking advantage of what is being measured. And most engineers are probably the same. At the end of the day, I want the project to be successful. But on the path to being successful, I'm looking to see how I'm being measured, and I'm going to make sure that I'm measured in the best light possible.
No,
And if they're only really looking at metrics, then that people start gaming the metrics on that. Now,
you're a pretty smart individual. I wanted to go ahead, finish your thought, and then I'll ask you my
I was going to say
question.
the one thing to keep in mind with DORA is it was based on cloud-based products or projects. So they really looked at things like Etsy, Netflix, and those type of products. So it's assuming that you're deploying dozens, hundreds of times a day.
Yeah, it's a
It's
SaaS.
not,
It's in a SaaS model. You're not going. Other models are not going to
yeah.
take advantage of it as
There's
well.
a lot of non-SaaS models out there in the software world that it's going to be hard to adapt DORA to.
I don't know,
It's
man.
not impossible, but it's
Tesla
difficult.
knocks it out every day. You got
Yeah.
that status. You got that update in your car waiting for you.